Hello and welcome to Adam About. In this video I'm going to be talking about the Oceana Hydro-Force SUP board by Bestway. Today I'm in St Maurs in Cornwall and I'm actually on the back of a yacht just moored outside the harbour. I'm recording on my GoPro and I'm not mic'd up, so I hope the quality is going to be okay, but I'm going to be talking about this SUP board. This is the Oceana Hydro-Force, which is by Bestway. It's a 10-foot inflatable SUP board and it comes with a kit with everything you need to get yourself started. I'm going to take you through the contents of the pack, what it comes with, how to set it up and what I think of it overall to give you a bit of review of this product. So let's get on with the video. The first thing to say is that everything comes inside this large rucksack which contains all the item. It's not like a hot tub that I normally review on here where once you take it out the pack you've got no chance of getting it back in again. I've had this out a couple of times and used it and it all goes easily back into this backpack, including the pump and the repair kit and everything else that it comes with. The rucksack itself comes with these two sturdy straps to allow you to put it on the back, has a draw cord at the top for fastening, and also has these two clips that you can cinch down to hold everything together. It's fairly light when you've got everything, so easy for one person to carry, no problems there. And yeah, straps on one side, and then it's branded on the back Hydro-Force. So I'm going to open the bag up and show you what's inside. Undoes easily by opening the two clips, and then it's just a draw cord fastening to get into the rest of it, which I've tied in a complicated knot. So inside we've got two ends of a paddle. So that's the pole handle that you need for using it as a SUP board. That fastens onto a paddle a bit like this one here, and that creates your SUP paddle board, but also there's allowing these two to fasten together, which creates it more like a paddle for when you're using it as a kayak. It comes with this pump. It's just a single cylinder, but it's fairly easy to use and it allows you to pump it up to the 15 psi that's recommended for this SUP board. There's a tube for the pump. This is the seat that allows you to convert it into a kayak that we'll have a little look at in a bit. This is the fin that fastens onto the bottom of the SUP board to give it stability and make sure you keep going in a straight line. This is the paddle board itself, rolls up really tight and fits in that bag really easily. Also comes with this ankle strap that I've used it to sort of keep it together nicely wrapped up. Final two bits of content. So we've got a strap, and this is the footrest that you use when you're converting it into a kayak, and this is a puncture repair kit. There's also a valve remover in there and a spare valve as well, so anything you're likely to need to fix it if you have any problems with it, that's contained in there. And that's everything. That's the entire kit. Oh, one more thing, it does come with some instructions, quite thorough instructions, but to be honest it's pretty straightforward and I'm going to show you how to set it up now. Before we inflate the hot tub, I'm just going to show you this paddle. So the main paddle for SUP boarding comes in two parts. It's really easy to put together. It's just a sort of little knob here you can push down, that inserts into here, clicks in place, and that's now locked. At the upper end of the paddle there's this bit which has essentially got a little flap on it. You just lift that flap and that allows this pole to slide up and down. You can then adjust it for the height that you need for you to SUP board. I have it at about 192 centimeters, which is quite far out. So if you want to convert the SUP paddleboard into a kayak paddleboard, then undo this, the adjuster that you use for changing the length of the SUP board, and you can slide that pole completely out. Once you've slid that out, you can then slide this one in. There's a button on it you need to press. Press that in. Oops. That slides in place and there's a hole that then clicks out of, and then that's absolutely rigid. and then you've got yourself a double-ended paddleboard rather than a stand-up paddleboard. To inflate the SUP board, you're going to need two things. You've got the pump itself, and then you've got the tube that comes with it that goes from the pump to the SUP board. That fastens onto here at the top, just screws on tight, really easy to use, and there's a gauge on top to tell you how much air you've put in the SUP board, and you know when to stop. To get this SUP board inflated, I've just laid it out on the floor. I'm a bit short of space here, but if you're on a beach or something like that, it's very easy. It just unrolls. And on the back end here, there is the valve to inflate it. The lid unscrews, and then you screw the pump in place. So the pump itself, just making sure that that's ready to take air. It's locked in, so I actually want it out. There we go, fastens on as easy as that, and then you can start pumping air into it. Fair to say that the last few pumps on this are quite hard to put in. The pump comes quite stiff. I'm just over 13 psi at the moment, and I need to get it up to 15 to be fully inflated. Just takes a little bit of work to do those last few pumps. It's perhaps worthwhile saying that Bestway do sell an electric pump, a 12-volt electric pump that can plug into a car or something like that, and that might be the way forward if you want to avoid this effort. One more pump should do it. There we go, we are definitely at 15 psi. So, pump comes off easy enough. The valve kicks in, doesn't let any air out, and then just fasten the lid on the valve back in place. Before I go any further, it's perhaps worthwhile just talking about some of the specs of this board. So it's 10 foot long, as I mentioned. It will take 120 kilograms of weight. That's what it's spec'd for, which is easily one very large adult, and probably two small adults, or certainly two children can fit on it in terms of weight capacity. I've actually gone on here with my nephew, and it was plenty big enough for both of us to fit on it, and it stayed afloat, no issues. So the ankle strap at the back fastens on securely here. It's coiled, so it's got plenty of length on it. Even when it's uncoiled, it easily comes to the centre of the board where your ankle's going to be, and if you fall off, it just gives you a little bit of length, which just makes things a little bit simpler. There's this sort of non-slip, very grippy surface that's over most of the top of the board. It comes just within a foot of the back and then goes all the way to the front of it. It's branded Oceana 10, as you can see, by Hydro-Force, as it says on the strap. What else is worthwhile mentioning? It's got one large carry handle in the centre, which makes it easy to carry around if you're taking it from the car to the beach or something like that, or maybe where you're staying down to the beach. It doesn't have a handle at the front or back, but to be honest, I didn't find I really missed those. It also has some straps on the front that allow you to carry a bag, and for safety I would normally recommend taking a few things with you when you go out on a paddleboard, a radio or a mobile phone or something like that. Maybe even worthwhile taking a picnic or some spare clothes or anything like that if you want to go out for the day. But the thing is, you can strap a bag to the front of there and you can take it with you wherever you want to go. I've just flipped the board over now, so you can just see the bottom of the board. It's fairly plain and white. But what we have here at the very back of the board is the element where the fin slides in, and that just slides back, there we go, and clicks in place. There's some little release handles here that allow you to slide it forward and come off. Now it only has the one fin at the bottom, and some of the more expensive boards do come with sort of smaller fins either side that are permanently affixed, but I didn't find it an issue at all. I found going in a straight line nice and easy. I didn't really miss having those, and to be honest, it helps you roll it up nice and tight and a bit smaller because it hasn't got that extra bulk of them. So no, I didn't really miss them at all. Just quickly thought I'd show you how you do the conversion into a sort of sit-on board rather than a stand-up paddle board. There's a footrest that just slides in here. So there are two hooks at the top and the bottom, and the pole simply slides in place, and then that's gripped pretty tightly. That's not going to come off very easily even when you're in the water, unlikely to fall off. And then to fasten the seat, there are these two strap sort of holders here, and I'll just put that seat on and show you in a second how it's done. The seat has sort of two halves to it. There's this smaller bit here that you sit on, and then this larger bit that goes around your back, so that's the bit that stands upright on the board. If we flip that round, you can see that on the back there's also this storage pouch here, so if you wanted to carry a drink or something like that with you, then you can fit a few little bits in there. And then on each side of the back are the straps that come off from it. One side it's got a long strap on it designed to fix to the board, and the other side that's got this buckle on it, if you can see the buckle, and yeah, so it just simply feeds in and loops around. So the strap simply comes around, feeds through there, comes back on itself to this buckle, and I would put that up through there, and then round back through there like that, and it's adjustable. You can pull it however tight you want, and then it shouldn't slip. So that allows you to position the seat like this on both sides, and it's upright and perfectly usable. So I'm now out on the water. It's worthwhile saying I have put a flotation device on, a life jacket. I think that's a pretty sensible thing to do. If you're going to kneel on the board like I am now, you can lower the paddle right down, and that makes it fairly comfortable for kneeling. I'm just going to head over more towards the shallow areas to get away from the people using the water. So the board is pretty stable. When you're kneeling like this, it's really easy to use. It's going in a straight line fairly easily. I'm not having to switch sides with my paddle very often. It's quite fast in the water. The grippy surface works well on my knees like I am now. My knees grip really well, I'm not going anywhere. Once I get over here a little bit, I'm going to stand up and we'll give that a go. Nothing to work a little bit against the wind. I think this board is great for beginners, really. A lot of boards tend to be quite narrow if they're aimed at more professional people, and ones for novices like these are much wider, and this width makes them more stable. I can rock it like this, and there's no fear of me falling off or it toppling over or anything like that. Just going to be working my way over to here. There's a little beach that's appeared in low tide. Yeah, so I'm in much shallower water here. I can see the bottom. I'm going to try and stand up. First thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to extend the pole. So I have it quite far out, up there, something like that. You want it nice and long when you stood up. And if you don't know, you kind of have the end of the paddle the wrong way round. A lot of people think to grip the water you have it this way when you're paddling. You don't, you actually have it that way, and that's so when you're going through the back part of your stroke it's working better in the water. So to stand up, the thing to do is just rest on your hands on the paddle, sort of hands shoulder width apart, and relatively fast, sort of standing in the middle of the board, one foot up and then a second, and then you stand up and use the pole for balance. I'm a bit wobbly to say the least, but that's more about my skill than anything to do with the board. It's actually easier once you're paddling, because when you're sort of gripping the paddle through the water, it acts as support and a bit more balance. There we go, just gently paddleboarding around St Mawes in Cornwall. I think this board is really aimed at beginners, and I think that's reflected in its price point and reflected in sort of how wide and stable it is as well. It's got plenty of features that you need. You know, it comes with all the equipment, the pump, the paddle, the carry bag, the ability to convert it into a kayak with the seat and the extra paddle. You know, it comes with a secure ankle strap that goes on the back. These are all the things you'd expect to get on a SUP board, and you don't get that much more on a SUP board that might cost 2, 3, even 4 times the amount. So if you're looking for something to just give SUP boarding a go, or you know, maybe just getting it for going on holiday and only going to use it a few times a year, I think this is a really good value and sort of, you know, pretty good bang for your buck SUP board. Try and make it back to a boat without falling off, which would be a bonus. Okay, let's see if I can get back onto my knees without falling off. There we go. Shorten this.